A good long bath always does wonders to cool my temper after a particularly strenuous day. Ah, and I see you've woken up, pet. Excellent. I might have asked you to join me as I bathed, but I didn't wish to rouse you. You always look so perfectly serene when you slumber. Your little chest rising and falling ever so slightly. What wild dreams make their way into that little head of yours when you sleep, I wonder. I think I can imagine. My apologies for returning to our bedchamber at such a late hour. I hope I didn't give you cause to worry. Today's proceedings unfortunately dragged on for an excessively long time. But they are finished at last, and your Empress is ready to join you for bedtime. Go on, move over a little, and make room for me. Good, Pat. Here, allow me to reward my pet's obedience with a little kiss on the forehead. Yes, let me wrap my arms around you and draw you in. Just like that. Cuddling you was such a pleasure. I've been yearning for this feeling all day. You simply can't imagine how torturous it was for me today. Having to sit on the throne, wrapped up in all that stuffy finery, and suffer through hour upon hour of tedious diplomatic round tables, when I wanted nothing more than to slip into this nightgown and slink back to my chambers, these velvet sheets, and my favorite pet's loving embrace. Alas, all of us have our responsibilities to attend to. Your Empress most of all. Oh, I appreciate your polite interest in the details of my day, Pat. But don't fret over it. It's none of your concern. The minutiae of all that complicated statecraft and negotiation would only bore you. You would never be able to wrap your little mind around such intricate matters. And besides, the business of my court is often quite serious. I fear it would be too much for a soft, sensitive little thing like you to hear about. Oh no, don't look so disappointed. Oh, how can I say no to that little pout and those irresistibly cute puppy eyes? Very well. If you're truly so curious, I'll indulge you. Today's meetings were between myself and a certain High Lord from the East. This lord has been quite vocal in his belief that the Crown's new slate of taxes on naval imports are very unjust, and he has come to the imperial court to demand certain concessions. If I don't submit to those demands, he's threatened a blockade on our eastern ports. He mistakenly believes that his possession of a few god-forsaken spits of barren rock and this castle or two gives him adequate leverage to demand anything of me. Oh, I only wish that I could be in attendance when the royal fleet encircles all his pathetic worm-eaten little ships like a great iron fist and smashes them all to splinters in a hail of cannon fire. Like most nobles, he's a very proud man. He wore the most infuriatingly arrogant little smirk during our negotiations this morning, as though he really believed he had the upper hand. It would be nothing short of a privilege to be present, to see that smirk melt into cold despair, as he watches his livelihood burn and sink into the arbor. And it dawned on him, far too late, that he should not have tempted the wrath of his Empress. In my mind, I can already hear those wails, those shrill pleas for mercy and clemency. Delectable. Proud men never stay proud to the end. Did you know that, Pat? That's something I've been taught quite well by all the poor fools I had to bend and break over the course of my tenure as the Empress. Sure, they put up a nice facade of bravery, but like all the rest, they're soft and squishy and vulnerable on the inside once you crack them open. Even the proudest men fall to their knees and whimper and beg like animals once they see the Reaper's sickle on the horizon. I prefer honest men, and honest pets too. Pets who forego the delusion of pride from the start. Good pets like you, who know their place, who don't try in vain to puff themselves up to seem big and strong and brave, when they're actually small and weak and cowardly. Oh no, I'm sorry, Pat. I can see by that wetness in your pretty eyes and your quivering lip that I'm only frightening you with my passion, my ferocity. Oh, I told you all that serious talk would be too much for you to handle. I'm sorry I scared you. Here, no more of that. Just nestle into my arms, let me run my fingers through your hair and soothe you. You may cry if you're feeling too overwhelmed. I don't mind. I've grown quite fond of your soft heart, and how easily you are moved to tears when you're scared or confused. You need not to be embarrassed. It's quite endearing how tender you are. Let's change the subject to my favorite little subject. Tell me about your day. What was my darling pet up to while their mistress was away, I wonder? Nothing naughty, I hope. Oh no, don't worry. I was only being playful. I know you're much too loyal and well-behaved to do anything I wouldn't approve of. You're a good pet. Isn't that right? Of course you are. That's why your Empress loves you. If only all the rebellious little worms spoiling my big, beautiful world could be as demure and soft and pliable as you. Maybe my crown wouldn't be quite so heavy a weight to bear sometimes. But having you around to be affectionate within the late hours of the day makes dealing with all of that rabble each morning so much easier. There, nuzzle into my neck. I know you would never betray me. It's true that you aren't a product of one of those fancy academies that spawned all of these worthless lords and ladies who clutter up my court. But nonetheless, you somehow know one thing they never truly learned. You know that all you have, your food, and your bed, and your clothes, and your life, you owe all of that to your Empress's generosity. And you see, likewise, that all that she has so magnanimously given you, she can strip away just as easily. Isn't that right? Oh, I do so enjoy that mewling whine in your voice when you say, "Yes, Empress," as though you're frightened you'll upset me and earn a punishment if you don't agree with me meekly enough. So keen to be submissive. But how could you be another way? I raised you up from nothing after all, didn't I? Plucked you from the gutter and put the most savory food in your mouth. Draped the most luxurious clothes around your shoulders. Lavished on you my warmest affections. You would have to be the most ungrateful sort of a creature to be anything but perfectly servile when speaking to the women who handed you the world on a silver platter. How fortunate for us both that you're a good pet instead. I can feel your heart beating fast through your chest. It always quickens its pace when we lie together, doesn't it? It's admittedly flattering. The effect hearing my teasing words and being close to me clearly has on you. You're so completely, unashamedly in love with me. It's adorable. Here, you may place your hand on my chest. I want you to feel something. Do you feel the beating of my heart? You ought to feel it distinctly. I'm hardly wearing much beneath my nightgown. In fact, I'm not wearing anything beneath it. Oh, there's that shy look again. Did you not realize that a little measure of thin silk was all that separated our bodies? No, don't take your hand away. When I give you permission to touch me, you need not to be reluctant. If it helps, remember that being affectionate with me is as much a duty as it is a privilege. And I need not remind you what I expect when I order you to do your duty. Speaking of your duties and privileges, I've been meaning to commend you on your progress with our little kissing lessons. You were so inexperienced to start off, but you're becoming quite a natural. And I don't need to tell you that's high praise, coming from someone with lips as discerning as my own. Tonight, I'd like to continue your instruction and teach you a new trick. Do you recall that when I kissed you for the first time, I made use of my tongue in a certain way? I'd like for us to do that again. Only this time, it'll be your tongue doing the honors. Aww. No need to speak. I can tell you're nervous. I told you, none of your little fits and fidgets escape my Empress's notice, didn't I? It's quite alright. I know very well how prone to anxiety my good pet is. Don't fret. You're safe as long as you listen and obey. Let me guide you. Here, I'll cup your cheek. Do you like the feeling of my warm hand on your face? It's fresh from my bath, and ever so soft, I know. If you inhale, you can still smell the lavender. Let me bring your head up, tilt it a little to the side, and... Exquisite. I've been hungering for your lips pressed against mine all day. Another. Perfect. I almost can't bear to part from that warm and inviting mouth of yours. But I would hardly be a very good teacher if I skipped over the crux of the lesson. Now allow me to demonstrate the proper technique. Did you feel how my tongue snaked in past your parted teeth and met your own? Did you feel me press my way into your mouth and take claim over what's mine? Everything in this world is about power, you know, in one way or another. Even matters of the bedroom. Especially matters of the bedroom, if we're being perfectly honest. But one of the more enjoyable aspects of wielding great power is allowing those beneath you to play at wielding it as well. Even if it's only play. So, you have my permission, Pat. I will kiss you again. And when I do just as I did. Slip that tongue next to mine. Excellent. You're as quick of a learner with kissing you as you are with everything else. Color me impressed. But my star pupil isn't finished yet. Practice makes perfect, as they say. You're awfully eager with that tongue. I love it. Don't be afraid to be a little more forceful. I promise you won't offend me. Think of me as a fearsome lioness, playing with a poor, helpless, lost lamb. Though my prey might put up a pitiful fight in my mouth, nothing you do can ever truly threaten me. When my little lamb plays aggressive, it merely makes devouring them all the more amusing. Good, Pat. For a sweet, frail little lamb, you do have more than a bit of vigor in you, after all. And I love the way you stroked my hips just now. Your touch is clumsy and unpracticed, but nevertheless, those eager fingers feel divine, caressing my skin like that. How did a rough little beast like you come to possess such soft fingers? I think I can find one or two other excellent uses for them. But perhaps another night, one lesson at a time.